Pretty excited for this Game 3 draft. I have a prediction. I think FlyQuest is going to draft scaling.
Oh, no way! I can hardly imagine such a concept.
Probably keep the ban similar as well. You were saying they were not going to give the Aurora over for the entire series. VKS with the Rumble ban as well. I'd say the only thing I want to see, and I'm curious about your opinion here, is to actually 5-pick or counter-pick Boal's top lane. Because I think giving Gakkos the choice of his matchup in both games has set him up to be much more comfortable.
Yeah, they can. But it depends if Trundle's being picked as well. I can see them just trying to be like, let's get Trundle out of here. You're Scion duty, something like that. But I really think for mid lane, the question is, I think Quad's going to pick Victor. What are you going to play against Victor? Akali's gone. Galio's gone. Aurora's banned. You can go for some anti-comps against it, but for the most part, Victor's pretty good against that. So are you going to let him play Victor and scale, or are you going to have something prepared to stop that from happening?
If you're VKS and you're in must-win scenario, what is the thing that you go to in your time of most need?
I don't know. I think let's be honest. Let's be honest. You need some agency, and these early plays, these big game plays, they have to work because they never were a scaling team. They were an aggressive team, and FlyQuest is very good at weathering the storm, but it's not something where it's like, okay, now we're going to be a scaling team. You have to stick to your strength, and your strength is the Pantheons, the skirmishing with the Trundle, the Annie and Aurora, which are now both banned by FlyQuest. So I'm confused what they're going to go for. Maybe they go for like a Mao. They can go for like a Mao Kayon. They are pretty good at Talia. They can do it to like a Talia Sedge. He does have a very good whip rate on Sedge to Samus. So it depends what they feel like the theme of the series is. But they just lost the same thing twice, which is scaling.
I do like that philosophy, though, of even if you just lost twice versus someone who's going to outscale you, don't all of a sudden change everything about your own team. Continue to play to your strengths. And let's see what they do come up with. The Nico that was kind of focused previously and banned away, and you're talking about being a very useful tool for Trimby, here is first picked and sniped away, and that's already going to set up the bottom lane to be powerful. Yeah,
and they took this because there's two premier picks into the Nico, Bard and Karma. And those were both already played early in the series. Now you get the Nico, you don't have the best counter picks against it, and Busio, we've seen him on the Nico. It's a very good pick for him. There's not an easy pick into it now on the Keyd Stars side. And they go for the Scion, like I was talking about. I think they're going to take the Trundle as well.
They have to take Trundle now, yeah.
Because you can't get Trundle now.
Really interesting. So they're just trying to neutralize that top lane matchup as much as possible. I feel like they didn't take the Trundle, though. I think Inspire's going to be playing that.
I think it's a pretty easy takeaway here. You take the Trundle. Maybe they have an interesting pick into the Trundle that they're preparing, but I'd be a little bit surprised. We see some Zeds into the Trundle. The Samus doesn't strike me as a Zed player. I think FlyQuest will be happy by taking, Aatrox Trundle here. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, Aatrox is pretty interesting to me because obviously for the lane, it is good. But I've seen so many team fights later on in games where there's the team that had early picked the Scion and got counterpicked by Aatrox. Anyway, the Scion just still has so much value in mid game as such a strong frontline tank. So that's why I kind of do agree with you guys on the Trundle aspect, because the front to back does look like the angle they're going for.
If they don't take Victor here, though, it's probably banned in the 4-5. But the Trundle just looks so juicy here.
Yeah, they get the Trundle. I think this is something FlyQuest is pretty happy about. And this 3-pick, I'm curious what comes out here, because it seems so obvious to take the Trundle 1-2, which makes it seem like they have something prepared, right? Like, I know this team, I know they put a lot of prep into their drafts. They expected this, and they have something that they want to do into the Trundle.
Yeah, because they didn't really have another reason to do Rel instead early, so
exactly.
Let's see what it is.
Well, they don't think FlyQuest knows what it is, so they're not afraid of the 4-5 bans, and they're just getting the Yone early.
Okay, well, it is a little bit clear now. They're going to pick an AP character, right? So it's going to be something that Trundle's not that good against. So what do you have? You have the Maokai, you have the Zyra. They can do Brand as well. It's going to be an AP character that Trundle's not very good against, which is why they gave Trundle in the first place. Sion's still not going to be happy that he's against it, but at least they have a good matchup for Samus, and they have some aggression with Miru on Yone now.
Yeah,
okay,
I like it.
Checking out the bans here in the second half, that Talia getting banned away. I think we're still probably, are we still expecting the Victor to be the second ban here for Vivo Keyd Stars, considering they've already locked the Yone for themselves?
Yon usually does pretty decently against the Victor. Maybe they still do it because it's FlyQuest and they're pretty confident with it. I'm not too sure what Quad likes into the Yon. The Akali's gone. Casio, you do have to slam this ban.
Casio.
You have to slam the Casio ban for sure.
I do like this Ziggs ban from FlyQuest as well. Because of, like you're talking about, the AD mid from Yone showing really early, they want to take that option out from the bottom lane. That is definitely a smart protection one. And there you go. The Quad special taken off the table
VKS
as
is
well.
prepared, right?
Yeah.
These are very measured drafts, giving over the Trundle, making it so juicy so they get the Yone, and now maybe, as you mentioned, there are a bunch of AP champs you can take into it. Maybe the Lilia, there's no hard CC yet for FlyQuest aside from the Nico skill shots. Lilia's pretty weak right now, though.
Yeah, I think FlyQuest also very well prepared. Morteos, very good at Ziggs. They take that away, so now you don't have the Ziggs-Yon combo. So I'm curious what these bot lane ADCs are going to be looking like this game. And this jungle pick, I think, is going to determine the landscape of the game. Whether they go for just a simple Maokai or they actually go for that AP carry in the jungle.
I'm excited to see it, man. I want to see what they have planned, what they had researched and prepped for this draft, for this Trundle into the Scion pick. Fourth pick of the draft is just the Kai'Sa. Okay, so we're waiting all the way. They want maximum information before they make this choice.
Yeah, I mean, for sure they want the full team counter pick here. The Kai'Sa I do like grabbing really early, obviously with the Rel classic combo, and they've got plenty of dive with the Yone as well. So lots of dive from VKS.
Yeah, and you got a bit of mixed damage as well. You can go for the AP Kai'Sa build. It covers for the fact that Yone is AD on mid. MF, pretty standard pick. Nothing too special. They go for the Ryze. So Ryze, so this is interesting actually, because there was a while where people thought that Ryze was really good against the Yone. You're kind of really tanky. You can bully it a little bit. But some Yones actually have developed to like this lane because they're able to scale a little bit, and once you hit Bork, you're actually able to do what Ryze doesn't like, which is fight for a very short period of time, don't do an extended trade, and chunk and come out. So I'm curious if Miru is happy with this matchup. It seems like Quad is, and Quad is a pretty good Ryze. So the only thing left to see is what is this AP carry that this Thomas is going to lock in.
Got some
Yeah, we got
flashbacks there. Some Shopify.
We're playing on the hotfix at least, so it's a little bit stronger for Yunar than last week.
Now we're updated, and now we're on the hotfix, but they lock in the Misfortune even into all this dive. So if you keep range on the Misfortune and your Nico is able to lock them up, then you can have a hugely potent counter engage. But you do need to make sure you do not get caught by a Yone ultimate or standing still for too long, and they will end up going back with the very classic Maokai combination with it. They do feel like the Kai'Sa is enough to carry part of the AP threat as well as the Maokai here.
All right, so since we are getting into the last part of the draft here, we finally get to see all 10 champs locked in. Just like last time, ThinkCard, I'm going to ask you, last question before you take off and head back to the Analyst Lounge. Which side do you give the edge to for this draft?
I would give it to FlyQuest, mostly because I think the team with the pushing bot lane really controls the game this series, and I think that FlyQuest is going to be able to kind of snowball into the first setup. But this Keyd Champion select is very skirmish heavy. This is one of those drafts that, you've seen G2 pull off, especially against Gen G. You get that one team fight with the Yone, and then if you win that one skirmish and you have first setup for the rest of the game, you could really run over like every single team fight.
All right, let's see if they can pull it off. Let's see if they can take us to a game number 4, or if FlyQuest is going to clean sweep their way to a fast pass to the grand finals in Dallas next Sunday. ThinkCard, thank you so much for coming on here and offering us your wisdom and your mind for the draft yet again. We will be bringing him back if the series does continue on past this. But Kobe, Jack, it has not been looking good for Vivo Keyd Stars so far. FlyQuest beat them slow, they beat them fast. They have got them figured out in these first 2 games.
Absolutely, and I don't think it's because FlyQuest has their number in draft. I feel like it's because they have their number in mid-game execution and just the way they see their win conditions in game. This is another draft that I think is very creative from VKS with a lot of engage options, and it gives them a possibility to have an outplay in this game. They want to play fast, they want to play aggressive, and even though FlyQuest does have enough skirmishing champions, they're still going to want to scale and control these lanes. So let's see if FlyQuest can do it for a 3rd game in a row.
Yeah, I do think this Busio Nico is going to have a lot of value. Let's see about the early lane pressure. I mean, Misfortune plus Nico here into short-range Kaisa and melee support as well. If you don't have jungle kind of coming down to threaten ganks and stuff, you can just get pushed in constantly, chunked out constantly, and start to lose out on gold and experience as well as territory to work with.
Plus, not just the short range on the AD carry and the support, the difference in the keystones as well. Busio making sure that he's going for Comet for the extra trading power, extra early lane bullying, whereas Trimby is running that Summoner Spellbook to try to give himself more creative options as the game goes on. But you got to get there if you want to have those options, and we'll see how well they can survive the storm here in this early lane.
And the other thing VKS have to do is track Inspired.
Whoa.
And they are starting out. So we did see this previously. I'm trying to remember which exact game it was. I was watching so many LCK and LPL VODs. But they did this previously, and this is the kind of new version of a lane swap. And where you just put your AD carry up there so you don't trigger the 2 people debuff on top side. And we're just having both of them matching and have both AD carries up on the top side. And so you get supports with top laners duoing on the bottom side of the map. This is the kind of new way around the lane swap restrictions for the first 3 minutes.
They're never getting rid of lane swaps.
No, they're not.
They did as much as they could, man.
I am not jealous of the devs whose responsibility it is to try to cure the lane swap problem, because teams always find a new way to try to bring it back. Trimby still level 1 on the Rel, passing through mid lane now. As you can see, Disamas pathing towards his top side of the jungle. Both junglers did start on their own respective blue buffs, so pathing towards opposite sides of the map. Masu on the Misfortune does have control over the push up here in this top side, as well as that wave crashes into the tier 1 turret. And Busio, again, just kind of doing the same thing that Trimby did, passing through the mid lane here, making sure that everything's fine.
Yeah, so they're not going to be disadvantaged by this early shenanigans whatsoever. It's just going to be standard lanes just flipped around like they've already swapped up for this 3-minute, 30-second wave. But I also want to call to attention just this North versus South story that we've had. The 3 wins were all by Red Canids as Quad.
Oh, that Q.
That last overload, if that would have hit, because he was also already marked with the spell flux, that probably kills.
Ooh, that was close. But close doesn't count it, Flowers. No first blood, no kill there. And Miro does get to continue farming here under tower. But yeah, I do think it was a smart move because you avoid at least these super early stages of the really annoying dual lane for bottom side. So after the 3 minutes comes up, they're able to just go over here, double duo lanes once again. Inspired's going to go for his reset. As Dismiss does show on his way to the next crad. So Inspired is going to be a little bit ahead on timing here. Gets his recall off first. Probably just go back into a nice re-clear, though.
Okay, Trimby crashes down, trying to engage on Busio a little bit here as the counter route from Busio does not hit a target, but still some good trading back from Busio and Masu to honestly come out pretty far ahead in the trade overall.
Yeah, Masu just standing strong, making sure to get the love tap on both of them. Still high health, keeping these waves pushed. And the Nico is still going to be able to apply a lot of pressure, having traded heals and being 1 summoner up in that 2v2.
I have to say, it's kind of interesting, too, because both junglers are opposite side. So second re-clear here is going to end up on different sides. They actually, with the push, are just going to allow Masu's going to pull the wave, focus up the minion damage, so it will slowly push in his direction, kind of, or at the very least deny a little bit of extra minions. But we've got some jungle on bot.
Okay, Gakdos still scrapping with Bowl here. However, Disamas has made his way forward, throws out the sapling, finds it in the brush. Not a whole lot more out of this. Gakdos survives easily.
Yeah, he's not sure about the whereabouts of Inspired quite yet, because their ward was on Raptors, and they didn't, they weren't 100% sure where he is, so he didn't want to like flash for it and trade flashes with Gakdos or something. And they're not especially high damage combination. So didn't want to over-invest anything and over-chase down there.
Yeah, and just small advantages accumulating for FlyQuest right now for about a 400 gold lead. So about 10 CS as Gakdos was able to get that wave in before recalling, getting through that risky part of the lane. I think if Dismas did want to flash in for that. There's a chance they get the kill. They at the very least would trade flashes, but I completely agree. If they do that blind and Inspired's there, it would have been a total disaster.
It's the Inspired effect, man. He just makes so much space in the enemy's mental because of the fact that they know his pathing is so efficient, that they know he's always looking for those plays. Busio will pass through mid lane, interrupt Miru's recall here, so at least send him off tempo a little bit.
Yeah, looking like Trundle at the moment, so they can't be completely sure. Now he swapped, so they know for sure.
It was a very short-lived period of dishonesty.
Yeah.
But we are going to have the objective focus continue. So Inspired does his second full clear down to this bottom side and should be able to easily pick up this dragon. Meanwhile, Masu is forced to drop a bit of CS to play safely down there in the 1v2 while Busio is doing Nico things.
Yeah, this is the earliest first Drake in the series by multiple minutes. Remember that in game number 1, game number 2, both, it was a very delayed first Drake take. This time around, it's not only super early, but it's a FlyQuest neutral objective super early, which Vivo Keyd Stars were having much greater control of in the early games for games 1 and 2.
Yeah, and VKS, they really do need that Maokai ultimate to be able to bring the all in together because they're going to need the multiple forms of engage while people still have flashes. So they're waiting for that. Should be able to get it off of his Gromp and blue buff here. But Inspired just plugging away on the Trundle, keeping up the farm, scaling up here. And Dragon number 1, as you said, is going to be on a fairly early timer for FlyQuest this time around.
Yep, so no rush whatsoever for FlyQuest, already being up 2-0 in this series. Having Gakos play the entire time, I think he's looked great based off what our expectations were. He's gotten the counter pick in all 3 games. He's gotten large advantages in all 3 games, but also Inspired has really played through him, played through his top lane a lot. I also find it interesting, the team dynamic that FlyQuest probably has with Gakos. Whenever we hear or listen in, it's all Inspired and Busio talking. Bwipo took up so much calm space previously that they feel like just incredibly calm in these replays because so few voices are actually talking. Gakos able to completely focus on his own play.
Okay, about a 500 gold lead here for FlyQuest as we have less than 10 seconds until the grubs spawn. Remember, both of the previous games, it has been 3-0 grub counts for Vivo Keyd Stars. Game number 3, can they maintain that same level of control?
Yeah, I think FlyQuest should probably just start it up and burn them down. I mean, technically, Boal does have Sion ultimate, so Sion could try and quickly clear that wave, but he would have to start walking up now because FlyQuest are just burning this grub camp, and they've got all 5 here. There comes Sion. Okay, Sion's running up the river, so they want to kind of late contest it and look for the fight.
Okay, the second grub has already been secured by FlyQuest. Trimby wanted to try to go in there for the Shattering Strike, but he doesn't hit anything. Trimby's just going to get killed. The grubs 2-1 for FlyQuest, plus the additional kill. It's first blood over to Gakos there for the Aatrox, but now he's going to get focused down. Miru jumps in, but a big bullet time up the top. Fires back into the VKS health bars. Boal tries to escape over the wall, but Inspired takes a bite out of him. It's 2 for 1 in grubs. It's 2 for 1 in kills, and it's feeling good for FlyQuest.
You could see how badly VKS wanted that fight to go well, as Thinkard told us in the draft, if they get a little bit ahead and can be first to objectives, that's kind of the way they need to win this fight, so they needed that fight to work. But Trimby's engage doesn't work, and then Inspired threw the ult onto Sion on the re-engage, which allowed them to shred him down as well. Big win there for Fly.
I mean, I feel like you could just tell how pressured VKS are feeling.
Take it slow. I have W. I can block. Take it slow. Sion is ulting. He's coming.
Okay.
I will ult the Sion if we fight.
Think about Yone ult. Think about Yone ult.
Yone. Sion is ulted.
They're all 1 HP.
Yeah, Sion is gonna die.
I have no mana. They're 1 HP.
Take it slow.
They're so calm.
I feel like VKS were so pressured though because they were behind on getting there, and then they still Trimby went before Sion gets there, and they really didn't want to let FlyQuest just get away with the 2 kills. But once Trimby goes in and Busio is able to flash that engage, then it's a huge punish on the counter engage there. Because Rel, when you go in, you are putting your body at risk in going for that and forcing that flash. So I think good on Busio just flashing that engage. Wasn't too difficult for him to do, but good punish afterwards. He hit the root, and so they're able to just burst down Trimby before Sion even arrives.
Okay, so it's 2-1 grubs for FlyQuest. First Drake over to FlyQuest. They have the slight lead in kills by just having that 2-1 lead there as well. So honestly, first 10 minutes, everything's really coming up FlyQuest here. We do have only 60 seconds until our second Drake of the game spawns. Do we expect VKS to, again, just try to go for more of these heavy early skirmishes, playing around things like the Maokai ult and the Yone ult?
I think if they can get a good look, they're going to just absolutely pull the trigger. The one positive for VKS is they got a kill over onto Kai'Sa, and they have about a 20 CS advantage on that Kai'Sa versus the MF. So if they can get him accelerated in any way, and that could just be getting 2 kills at a Drake, it would be worth it. But I do think with them not really having any item advantages yet accumulated, it would be better to just hope that Drake lives as long as possible so Soul Point gets delayed.
Trimby, Desamas, both checking around up here. Trimby wanted to go for the recall interrupt there, but did not hit that one in time, so not going to accomplish a whole lot with it. 10 seconds here until that next Drake spawns. Inspired, hanging out around the mid lane, throws up the pillar, forces out the defensive Fate Sealed from Miru, which is great. That's a massive playmaking tool that VKS really wants to have if they want to challenge for a team fight for this Dragon.
Yeah, interesting timing too, because Kai'Sa, you were just talking about, finishes the Kraken Slayer, but with no Yone ultimate, that I don't think you can actually fight if you don't have the Yone ultimate follow-up. Even though the item completions are coming in, Leandri is also now completed for the Maokai. It's just going to be number 2 here for FlyQuest.
Ooh,
no ult and no flash now.
Yeah, the pressure they're putting on him is a lot. First, you force the ulti. 30 seconds later, he's stuck in a spot where now the flash has to be spent. This Yone is going to be very vulnerable for quite a while.
It really is. Miru, probably their best player, best performing player throughout the regular season, getting a lot of pressure thrown at him in this game. And FlyQuest just keeping the vision up with this incredibly annoying Nico clone, making it so no one can get sneak engaged on. Quad just going to build up that durability more and more, and because FlyQuest is just chilling on these 2 Drakes, they're in a very comfortable place in the game.
And it's probably about time, pretty close, to swap the Misfortune into mid lane and put the Rise into the side lane here too, so FlyQuest can get their side lane Rise going. Misfortune can use the strut to just rotate over very quickly in between minion waves. And then we'll be pretty safe here, as you're talking about. You know, Nico can get so much vision that Busio's trying to cover both sides.
Okay, a little bit of a battle for vision off to the side of mid lane, but there's not really anything to fight for just yet. The next thing that there should be a fight for would be the Rift Herald here just south of 2 minutes from now. Will be spawning up here in this top side, so I do expect to continue to see some battle for the vision around this area. Miru obviously still just trying to farm safely in the side lanes. Fate Sealed is back up now, so at least he will have that available as an escape mechanism, but the flash is going to be down for a very long time.
Yeah, and this may be getting annoying to some people, just constantly praising Inspired, but because it's a slow game, I want to just go back a little bit to that gank on the Yone. It was the perfect timing for a gank. He doesn't gank that often, and even though it didn't kill, like, the one window that VKS would have would be when Kai'Sa can arrive to a Drake fight with the item Power Spike. I feel like Inspired knew that, preempted with a gank mid lane to make it a non-contest, and now is just in this holding pattern until they get to the next Drake. But by that point in time, Masu's going to have his call popped, he's going to have a Bloodthirster, and the item advantage won't be there. So it's just constantly this guy is doing exactly what needs to be done to win the game.
And you just said it, the call just popped for Masu, so plus 450 on that one. Trimby and Miru, there's not a whole lot they can do down here in this 2v2 against Busio and Quad. When you're looking at Quad, he also just got that Rod of Ages fully completed, so he's going to start stacking on that. His tier also 5/6 of the way charged, past 300 stacks on that one. Everybody on FlyQuest moving along at exactly the pace they'd like to, but over on the other side, you do have the Leandris completed for Desamas. We know that this is a big spike in terms of how well Maokai can control neutral territory, particularly if you get there first, but that's a pretty big if at this point.
Yeah, and he's kind of been hovering around. You see this Maokai's been in the river for a long time, looking for angles for his ulti, dropping saplings here and there that will be empowered by that Leandris to be extra annoying, as you say. And they just don't see any sort of angle here. The Herald is on the map at the moment. It is not the biggest of objectives, but Inspired is here in the bush camping.
Spending a lot of time here.
There's no flash on that Yone.
Yeah, Miru jumps in, tries to snap right on back, but the Fate Sealed won't hit anything. Feet of Warfare claimed by FlyQuest.
So now Herald is available, so your logical kind of cross map is okay. I guess we're doing Herald now for VKS, but Trundle does not need a Herald to kill towers. When Trundle has Trinity Force, they can absolutely annihilate the tower. So yes, you can go for the cross map of the Herald, but the play to get the kill and the tower down here for the split push Rise is much more valuable for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and it's going to give them feats regardless because they got the feats of Warfare as well as now feats of First Turret, a bunch of gold going over to Rise to also help match the Yone. Now that the lane is going to get a bit more difficult with the Yone completing the Blade of the Ruin King. So another well-played sequence there by Inspired.
So we've been struggling with this for a long time with the feats of turrets versus the feats of objectives. The feats of warfare, the kill one is easy. That's cool to say,
it
right?
is feats of first turret.
But the what about something like the foundation or something? You know, what's it like the bottom of a structure, right?
That would be cool, but it is funnier to say feat of turret. Like.
Feats of first turret. That's what it calls out in the game.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not a very good name. It could use a better name than that. So.
Feats of demolition, I think, would be a good one.
That could work. That could work.
Like demolition and foundation and these sorts of things are like close, but they're definitely not quite there. So we'll continue to cook on
What do you call the neutral objective one?
Monster Slaying.
Oh, is it monster slaying? That's what. Oh, okay. I guess I just never paid attention to that line in the patch notes. But that one's not bad. I'm down with that one. Let's see what VKS can do here as they are moving into the enemy jungle a little bit, just kind of trying to see if they can contest any camps, maybe find anybody out of position on a vision rotation. But that's not going to happen. Busio's clones make this so difficult.
Yeah, and it's all about a snap engage if they want to get it. But at the same time, this is a situation where Gakkos can get a bunch of free turret damage. So I wonder if this is actually a Drake that FlyQuest doesn't engage on. Now the teleport's coming in, they look to contest.
Okay, teleport about to arrive with the Dragon at half HP. Vivo Keyd Stars trying to maintain control over this objective as Boal's got to be a little bit careful now. Does try to get away back from the Pillar of Filth as Acadian Rain brings the Dragon low enough for it to be smited down. Man, Pop lost it for the bullet time. The bot lane from FlyQuest just shut this down.
Holy Busio, my man. Okay, well, first pick Nico. That had a lot of value.
Proto Belt is first, or sorry, Hextech Rocket Belt is his first item on Nico. None of this redemption for him. Uses that extra bit of mobility to clean up 4 kills. Yes, you got the Dragon, but that's probably the game. Look at what they get on top of this. They get mid-turret, quad teleported up to an already low top turret. They just slingshotted themselves ahead in this game.
I mean, there's nothing else to review.
My man.
You look at Busio.
One thing happens.
We're looking at Busio. Okay, Busio looks like Trundle right now.
Nope, now he's Misfortune.
Now he looks like Misfortune. The Dragon is going to get low, and Inspired, you see him, he's not in range to smite at the moment, but he's softening up the Scion. So FlyQuest clearly don't even care about trying to smite steal. He just wanted to soften up the front line, and there you go. Busio,
5-man.
Actually insane, and that is the whole review.
And now that we're back to live, it was another 2-for-1 trade. We completely missed what happened with that one, but it is Morteos and Trimby dead in trade for Busio, as Inspired also forces out the flash from Disamus at the end of the fight there with the pillar placed in that choke point of the brush near the Raptor camp. Now Miru knows that he could be in some danger. This tier 1 turret doesn't have a lot of health left on it. Soul Unbound already cast by Miru here as he tries to do enough damage to Gakkos to force him away. Disamus wants to make his way back up here now as well, but Quad goes forward. Miru tries to get out with a Q3 and Gakkos buries a sword in his back. Disamus can't escape underneath the tier 2. Inspired and Masu are both getting away, and with the tier 1 turret dead up here on the top side, Boal's in trouble as well. Busio's finally back in the fight, and the Scion cannot get away. Trimby with a big magnet storm, but there's no follow-up. It will not matter. The bullet time only needs one wave. Everybody on FlyQuest is still alive. Realm Warp to try to finish the ace, and Boal will not escape. They're chasing after him as he tries to clear the wave. Gakkos is going to lead the charge. It's an ace for FlyQuest.
They are absolutely steamrolling VKS in this game 3. 14 kills to 2 now. They're getting every turret in their wake as well.
And the FlyQuest cheers come out. Here's another look at the beginning. Okay, so how did they actually get those first 2 ones? It was the pick onto Busio that started out, but 2-for-1 with the commitment.
Oh, man. And then just this extension play. I love how there's so much happening at the top lane, and then randomly Masu and Inspired are flying up the backside of this fight, chasing after the Maokai. Gakkos did a really good job sidestepping the Sion engage, so they easily pinch the Yone at the start of the fight.
Yeah, I feel like Gakkos has been extremely good. Nice little play from him. We're back to live.
Miru hits the Q3 onto 2, but now he's immediately killed right after. Gakkos gets the rampage, and Masu did a ton of the damage there as well. Disamas will not escape from this one. He tries to drop the Herald to take the Uber home, but it's not quite gonna work as it gets summoned up, and now we'll just get beat down before they can even get a charge out of it. 20 minutes into the game, it's nearly an 11,000 gold lead for FlyQuest.
Yep, this one is a beatdown from FlyQuest. The tower's gonna go down with the Sion, maybe.
Yep, they put him in the rune prison as he tries to get away. Step right in front, so the ulti cannot allow an escape either. And FlyQuest now, they're just marching straight into the enemy base. They don't need Otacon, they don't need Baron, they don't need anything except to keep going forward. Busio finds a Pop Blossom only on the Morteos. Now the follow-up there from Trimby guarantees Busio's death. Masu dies to a Cathian Rain, and VKS have shut down both of the enemy bottom laners. Inspired and Quad are not going to take that lying down and pick up a return kill of their own. Gakkos joins the fight. Quad's going to be the target, but the Seraph's Embrace keeps him alive. Morteos finally takes him out of the very back end of the fight, but it cost the Kai'Sa too. That's 4 dead for 3 in a bloody battle in the mid lane.
And Inspired makes a call. We're not going to overstay for Inhibitor right now. We don't need to take the Inhibitor. Go for pillaging the jungle. Take away all of the camps, all of this value here. The full red quadrant is available. So they split up the duties, and they clear all 3 of those lanes. We got a nice little replay, picture-in-picture of Gakkos grabbing an extra kill.
Killed that Rel minion down in bot lane. Just another one of the 180 CS. I would
that
say
new skin?
That's like a super cannon minion.
A really big one.
Instead of riding a cart, it rides a metal horse.
Yeah, I gotta say, Inspired, get control of your team, man. They were too aggressive at that moment. I feel like they were way overconfident. They gave away bounties. They traded away back enough kills that they still have that 10,000 gold lead, but I think they're kind of more calmed down now, ready to set up this next Drake.
Yeah, I mean, Busio went for the engage onto Kai'Sa, but nobody else wanted to follow up damage on that engage, and they wanted to focus on the tower, on the objective. Wait a second. Speaking of objectives, it is a desperation Otacon, and it is going to be all 5 members of VKS. Teleports come in. FlyQuest running up the river. There's not much time, though.
Yeah, FlyQuest is coming in to try to stop him, but VKS is burning the objective down. Objective bounty claimed, and now VKS is trying to pile in for the kills. Busio gets a big Pop Blossom, and Miss Fortune's ulti tears everybody apart. VKS might have got their objective, but the fight belongs to FlyQuest. Triple kill, quadra kill to Masu. It's everybody else's job to just keep Disamas right there as Masu struts his way into the alcove, ready to collect his paycheck and take his pentakill.
That is a pentakill. That is a little bit of an anticlimactic pentakill with the last kill is literally this penned up Maokai, this tree in the alcove with nowhere to go. But the beginning of it was really cool.
Yes, sir.
All of VKS group up on quad. I actually like this. You know, they're kind of desperate. They're so far behind. They have to go for the Otacon. They full send it. Let's take a listen.
And the fight is gonna be good.
I'm gonna die. Just fight.
Wait, Rice?
Fight. I'm gonna be in.
Penta?
I'm
ulting.
in.
No flash, no flash, no flash. I'm chasing Maokai too.
Okay. Maybe one try.
Oh, wait,
Don't
kill
kill,
Penta,
don't kill
Penta.
right away.
Take it slow, we can give you.
Don't let him base.
Wait, I will
Does
show.
he have flash?
No.
Okay. Thank you. You?
Sweet. Okay, the Drake is still...
Wait, he called Penta after the first kill.
He just started ulting and he was like, Penta?
He was like, this is Penta. He called Penta so early.
That's crazy.
Get it. But yeah, I like the quad part too. Bye guys, I'm dead. But they all grouped up on quad, and that allowed for the big ulti combination for FlyQuest, of course.
I mean, when you think about MF Nico combinations and why you would want to pick it, you just look at this game. They've pulled off some insane Nico MF ultimate combos. Even that one, he only got about half the channel off before Yone interrupted it, but it was enough to nearly secure the pentakill with one button press.
Baron spawns, and FlyQuest has immediately walked over to the area with an 11,000 gold lead already, with sole point being the state of the game. Just grabbing the Baron here feels like it's insta-GG. You can see VKS walking over. They want to try to defend this. Trimby's placing down whatever vision he can. There's a control ward in that back into the Baron pit as FlyQuest are going to go ahead, take a couple of resets, make a couple of purchases here. You do have the Zhonya's Hourglass fully completed on quad as well. This Ryze is so hard to kill now.
Yeah, Ryze super far ahead, Aatrox super far ahead. Kai'Sa got a lot of bounties, though. So even after the Masu pentakill, he's only 500 gold ahead of the Kai'Sa and no meaningful item advantage. So if there's one player that would have an outside chance of carrying the game, it would be this Kai'Sa. It's just going to be so incredibly hard, though, with the overall gold lead being 10,000 for FlyQuest.
Right, you look at his 500, at Masu's 500 gold lead, and then top lane is 2,500. Then 3,500 in both jungle and mid. Inspired steps forward, throws out the pillar, forces out the flash from Boal. And that just means that the enemy front line is that much more vulnerable. Inspired still didn't bother using the subjugate. He just knows he has to push these guys back. And now the next time Boal steps up, there's no way he's getting back away from it. Instant Trundle ulti into the burst. We've seen it so many times already this game. And FlyQuest aren't even worried about fights. They're going in after the Baron. Voidseeker from Kai'Sa is going to fly into the pit and at least give them the idea, yes, this is what FlyQuest is up to. VKS on the approach, but the Baron has already been secured by Inspired. VKS, all 5 players now trying to disengage as Inspired keeps going forward. Nice pillar on to 3. No follow-up yet for the rest of Fly. Gakko's going around from behind, but quad goes golden as immediately VKS try to find the moment, and again it's Lucio with another beautiful Pop Blossom to guarantee the end of this fight and the end of this game, the end of this series. Gakko's godlike on the Aatrox with only Disamas left alive. FlyQuest are on the victory march.
That's going to be a 3-0 for FlyQuest. They are headed to finals in Texas.
FlyQuest, man, they look ferocious. People were wondering, with Gakkos in for the whole series, how tough are they going to be? And it looks like they were more than prepared for Vivo Keyd Stars. FlyQuest completes the clean sweep and earn their spot in the grand finals in Dallas next weekend.